And we are live. Welcome back to the James McGee Show. I am your host. I am James McGee, and look who's back with us. Tommy Wells is back with us. And look, it must have been a while since you've been here, Tommy, because your beard has grown.
Look at that.
Look at that beard. You still even have at your age, Tommy. You still have a little bit of you got a little brown in it. That ain't all gray.
No, that's pretty nice, isn't it? And this is what I call the Golden Spike Special.
If I grew mine all the way out, it would be full gray. Hey, Brett's with us, and of course we have Candace from Candace is Right with us. And what are we talking about tonight? What else?
I don't have a beard, so
yeah, you don't have. Candace doesn't.
I don't have a beard.
Her hair is pretty tame tonight. So
it is.
About that. Is there anything else in the world to even talk about anymore except Minnesota? It's not even the same thing. It's something different every day with it. Well, I guess it's the same thing. It's stupidity is the same thing.
It's quadrupling down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And part of the problem I see right now is that I was talking about this with my wife earlier, and she's starting to feel like maybe they should just pull out of there for just, and I'm like, no, you can't now. I hate to say that. I don't want to see anybody die, but you can't pull out now.
Let's talk about that, because that's one of my questions I was going to get into is what would you do, Tommy? What would be, you were a police chief for a long time. What is the solution? It's a terrible, sad situation that's being caused. Now I'm going to tell you, just be upfront with y'all. I'm a little frustrated with some of the Republican leadership in this. We'll get into that when we start covering some of these videos. I'm a little frustrated with them, and nobody's safe on this show. We're not liberals. We don't just cheerlead, and whatever Trump and them do is okay. If they're doing something wrong, then we call them out. And I'm gonna call them out on some stuff tonight. But Tommy, what do you do in this situation?
Well, one of the biggest. Let me. Let's make a statement first, and then I'll try to answer that because I'm not sure. But one of the biggest obstacles I think that they're facing up there is that you have everybody in lockstep. You've got Waltz, you got Fry, you got that moron police chief, whatever his name is up there, and they're all basically saying the same thing. And the worst part is that both Fry and Waltz are inciting this thing and telling people to resist and to go out and do all these things, and how your resistance is. That's what we need. That's what we need. And apparently there's people stupid enough out there, and we've already seen this several times, that they think, just like the idiot that murdered Charlie Kirk, that they somehow have a higher purpose on this earth to take down those that they're being told are the ogres of this world. And right now, I almost feel like ICE is in a no-win situation. I appreciate the fact that the ICE director is there in Minneapolis with those guys. I mean, they need, the guys and gals up there need his support. And I also feel like are you asking me if I was the director of ICE, what would I do, or are you asking me in general?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So, like your wife said, hey, should pull out, and you're saying no. So why do you say no, and what is the alternative?
Well, the reason I say no right now is because I think if they pull out, number one, there will be a push for people who are wanted by ICE to seek refuge there, number one. And number two is then the far left radicals are going to jump on that and say, ha ha, look at them, they're scared, that we won, ha ha ha, they're running scared. And that is something that can't happen right now. On the other hand, I think that maybe the problem is that they can't move without being, confronted and have these hotlines where people show up and blow their stupid whistles and get involved and everything like that. So I don't know. It's literally like a no-win situation. It's like everyone is dug in to say, like, we're making a point. Both the idiots on the left and the police are both saying we're dug in, and this is what our purpose is here to do, and we're going to do it. And it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. I do think that it would perhaps behoove the Trump keeps talking about the Insurrection Act. Well, let's get it done.
I agree.
Let's put this thing down and have mass arrests and get these people out of the way. And then, to me, that's the solution. Is you got to stop these people from taking over these places where they shut down roads and are in the face of these agents all the time. That's completely illegal, and they need to deal with it. That's my solution. Arrest those people in mass numbers.
I agree with that. Candace, where are you at?
I 100% do not think they should leave. I think it's very funny, the hypocrisy of it all, where you have these leaders that are saying, oh, you know, protest, do this, do that. You have to be fearful of ICE. You have to be fearful of this. And what's funny is that ICE is fearful of them. Look at what they're encountering. So you have two types of volatile people that are in very high stress situations. I absolutely think that each and every person that has had any sort of bad end results, you know, coming up and trying to challenge ICE, it has been 100% justified because of the fact that they should not be there in the first place. They are trying to inhibit ICE from doing their job, and they have made it very, very clear that they are 100% ready and willing to use violence against them. I think ICE has every bit of the right to defend themselves. And now, the videos, all the videos that we see, I don't know. I don't know what I'm seeing, but I tell you what, I don't give a shit what he reached for. He was resisting arrest. There was a gun on his person. Okay, you know how you solve this, everybody? That's it. Stop, put your hands where they can fucking see them, or stay home. What happened to stay home, save lives? Is that only a virus thing? Because your asses can stay home and you'll save your fucking life. It's that simple. I do not believe ICE should leave whatsoever. I do not believe Borders and Custom Control should leave whatsoever. We hired them to do this job. We did. We voted for this job. And the people of Minnesota need to get their shit together and put all that really good, aggressive energy into a job that will ensure that they can come home at the end of the day. Because if this gentleman would have spent his time at the hospital that he supposedly worked in saving lives, he would be awarded for that. But instead, he is now being blasted for being a commie lunatic that tried to shoot law enforcement.
Yep.
And you know,
I don't get it.
I agree with you. And I think the key thing that you said, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off of that. I think the key thing that you said was, I had no reason to be there. What are you doing there? And that's the biggest issue. And of course, y'all know where I stand on this. Is created by the left. I'm going to go out there and say, I don't know if this guy was a bad guy. It doesn't seem like, just from the history of him, it doesn't seem like he was a bad person. That's what the left does.
Right.
I don't know if Renee Good was a bad person.
They spin them up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know if he's a bad person. That's what they do. You don't see Tim Walz's pussy ass out there fighting. You don't see Jacob Fraslow. He's too busy sucking off Somalians. You don't see
any of these celebs that are like, pray for these people.
I actually feel sorry for these pawns. They are pawns. Yeah. And what they don't understand, it's enough. All right. What they don't get is that cops, I know the expectations are very high. I'm Tommy, you were a cop for 30 years. These cops are not robots. Okay, look at what we're asking these men and women to do right now. Okay, and it doesn't even matter. We're going to get into the meat of it, and I got some videos and stuff, and I'm anxious for both of y'all's opinions. But let's take right and wrong out of it right now. And Tom and I have a long history of talking about this one topic. And when it comes to police use of force, when we first show you and I did, it comes down to what, Tommy?
Resisting authority.
And
Thank you.
Obeying lawful orders. And
all you have to do is this, or you put your fucking hands behind your back and you just lay there. So that's what I saw from the video. Everybody that's dissecting, and he was holding his phone. I don't care what he was holding. Well, he was actively trying to fight law enforcement.
And that's where Tom and I both have this same stance, Candace, and I'm sure you agree with us on it. We're going to show the video, and we're going to talk about the ending. Well, I promise you we can debate it. And I'm going to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. It's not the cleanest and best shooting I've ever seen. I'm not saying it's wrong by any means. I've seen a lot cleaner. But one thing you can't debate, even, well, you got unreasonable people like Walls and them that have their own agenda. But one thing it's hard to debate is the beginning. The beginning started with a man that was impeding law enforcement, and he was used as a pawn. What did Tim Walz and Jacob Fry say? We need you. We need you with your, get them phones out, and we
resist.
We resist. They used the word resist, Tom, and this is direct result of what the left is doing, and they don't have a right. And I covered this last week, and I'm gonna cover this real quick. Then I'm gonna shut up, and we'll move on to a video and get y'all's input on this. But this is a problem. They are giving people false information that's getting them killed. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says you have a right to protest. That you have we know what it says. You have a freedom of assembly. You know what that means? You can show up somewhere, and you can gather, and you can assemble. Nobody says you can get in a cop's ear and blow whistles. Nobody says that you can do the things that they're doing. You can obstruct. And then going back to cops are human beings. All right. And like I said, Tom, it doesn't even matter if it's who's right or wrong. Let's look at the fact that we're dealing with human beings. And if we're going to prevent death, and we're going to quit playing the blame game once this happens, and let's prevent death. You know how you prevent death? Telling people to stay the fuck home.
This is a mental game. This is a mental game right now. And what I think that's what pisses me off so much is that you have officers that are in a position where it's like, okay, I'm going to a place that's already full of hate and violence towards me. I have a job to do, and I have a family that I need to get home to. And then you have these people that are agitating, instigating, fuck ICE, hope you die. Like, these are things that these officers are hearing on a daily basis. It is a mental game. When you come and you show up and you're ready to resist and you're ready to be violent and you're taking out a weapon, that officer is not only trained, but is also in a mental headspace of, I'm going to make it home and you're not. And I 100% stand by those officers for that, because if it were me, that is my mindset. I'm making it home no matter what. So if you're going to challenge me, you're not going to make it home. And that's where I think these weak mental people that are so manipulated to just go out and do these things when they don't, this isn't a part of who they really are. They're winding up at the bottom end of this draw each and every time. This is a mental situation, and only the ones that have the strongest mental ability are going to get through it. And that's people that are in law enforcement. They're trained to be that way, not these people that are on Xanax and Zoloft and anxiety, PTSD. Oh my God, that's the whole reason they're there in the first place.
I just want to, Jimmy, if you don't mind, I just want to make a real quick comment on what Candace said there, because I think this is something that's important to note, because Candace, you make a very good point. And I am very happy, or let me put it this way, very reassured that ICE has very supportive supervisors, because to be in that kind of a situation and to go in there and not hesitate to use force when you need to is a critical element of survival, because there's so many places in this country right now where police officers are scared to act when they need to act when it comes to force and those kind of things, or even making arrests because they're afraid they will not be supported, and that gets them killed. Police officers that are hesitant become dead police officers. And you are exactly right on what you said. I think, and I'm very glad to see that ICE is not afraid to act. So I'm sorry, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, so I'm gonna comment on this, Candace. You're right. You're right to an extent when we say that cops are trained, but let's not erase the fact that they're still human beings.
Absolutely.
And they're
distress is distress.
And look at what they're going through on a daily basis. Now, Tom, I will agree with you. You can't pull out, but let me tell you, the leadership in ICE has to do something before more lives get ruined, before one of them gets killed. And I don't like that anybody's being killed, but at least one thing is it's the bad guys being killed right now, and I don't want to wait until there's a good guy being killed. But this, to all the fucking filthy fucking animal liberals, I got something I want you to, if you can even imagine anything that doesn't come from Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, your daddy's telling you what to do. I want you to imagine this. cops are in life or death situations, all right? And what they're dealing with are one wrong move, and you saw this, one move, and a person lose their life. And you think it's okay to run up to them and blow whistles in there, and they're supposed to be able to operate like that. They're supposed to be able to just operate normal like that. So let me ask you this. If you're having a surgery and you have a doctor performing a surgery on you, has a scalpel, next time you have that, one of you filthy fucking liberals, this is what I want you to do. I want you to allow a group of people to go in and start blowing whistles in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to perform the same way?
Absolutely.
Or is he going to make a wrong move? And I'm not saying these cops are wrong. Absolutely, I'm not. But I'm trying to get in these stupid fuckers' head who are brainwashed by people like Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, and Ilhan Omar, and Keith Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
You think they give a fuck about you? No.
Mm-mm.
But again, would you want a doctor operating on you with a scalpel and somebody blowing a whistle in their fucking ear?
No, I'd knock them out.
That's why people are getting
Yeah.
fucking killed, Tom. That's why people are getting fucking killed.
Yeah, like
That's
I said,
right.
it's a mental game. It is a mental game, and it's not okay. It's
No.
not. I think it's so unfair. It's gotten to the point of being unfair that law enforcement has to deal with this level of insanity just because they want to apprehend criminals that are not legally residing in our country. That's it. And they are so convinced that ICE is detaining 5-year-olds that they can't see through anything else. They
They
can't
believe
see
anything
reality.
Walls tells them. It's sad.
It's sad. And
Yes.
why Pam Bondi can shove her strongly worded letter up her asshole, because that's not enough. It's not enough.
Well, she's an idiot anyway. But anyway,
So I'm gonna answer this real quick. So Brittany, yeah, get up in the morning, Britt. I know you're 2 hours behind me, but get up in the morning. I'm doing a whole show in the morning about the Kyle Rittenhouse comparison to this, and people are jumping up and down. And I'm gonna just give you a preview. I am not a Kyle Rittenhouse fan, but I'm going to give you the breakdown of what the difference is, and that. But I'm not a Kyle Rittenhouse fan, but this is apples and oranges on this.
It
This
is.
so
Why do
compared.
they think it's not? Why do they think
Because
it's
they're
not?
stupid.
I don't get it.
Because they're stupid.
Yep.
I mean,
There's
what
no
is
way
that
you
to
can
yourself,
make
Larry?
that make sense.
right.
Well,
You know
I'm
what?
not too much because I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. But it's not even a comparison.
Yeah.
It's not a comparison.
And you know what makes my heart heavy is that I have people, Jimmy knows I was on Facebook this morning tearing it up. And I have people that I have great respect for, who are friends of mine, who are extremely intelligent people. I have people who are family members of mine who are extremely intelligent people and are falling for this BS. And I sit there and I'm like, and I literally say to them, how can you be so duped by this?
Mhm.
Like, it isn't even about, like, I am a huge proponent that you have to have all sides to make this country great. You have to have people that believe, you have to have creative people, you have to have, people that have good skills. You have to all a gamut of people and the types of people to make a country like ours what it is. And you have to have different points of view. I have no issue with that at all. But this is so far beyond that. This radical, using people. I mean, look at Tim Walz standing. I don't know if you're going to show the video or not, Jim, but there's a video of Tim Walz, the one where he tells people to resist and we need you and all that other stuff. He's standing behind a fence that's taller than him. You know what I mean?
It's like
An
4
iron
feet.
fence. And it's like, you're not even out there with the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not even out. You're standing behind a fence because you're scared of them too. And I don't see how these people who I know these aren't just nameless, faceless morons that are out there. These are people that I personally know that I cannot believe are so able to be brainwashed by this shit.
You know what it is though? It's actually our fault. In 2020, 2021, whenever the whole
World fell apart.
Yeah, whenever the summer of love happened, whenever Floyd, all that nonsense happened, there were a lot of us, myself included, that saw the video and I was like, ooh, I kind of feel a little bad.
Yeah.
And then that turned into law enforcement now has to hand over their balls. And they did for 6 years.
You're
Law
right.
enforcement has handed their balls over. We did the defund the police. We gave them zero power, zero. And then we realized it's actually not good. Obviously, we need those that can enforce the law. And now we have an administration that's like, no, we are pro law enforcement. They are going to do the job in which we ask them to do. And it's shocking for people because for 6 years, they didn't have that. You think the police force in Minnesota is like, you know, cracking down crime? No, they haven't been since 2020. And
Yeah,
it is why everybody doesn't get it, because they haven't seen it in a while. But that's
why
actually how it
they're all
should
just,
fucking be.
Right.
like, you know, their officers just quit and went to work for ICE. That's why.
Right.
All right, let's watch it. So this video is it's short, but it's the actual shooting. So let's play it, and then let's talk about.
And I
the
gotta be honest, I don't see shit in these videos. So maybe
I don't
y'all
either.
can point
No,
it out.
It does. It you're right. There's not a whole lot.
I was paying attention to the wrong guy. I don't know. It's just-
Listen to the whistles.
So him in the hat, yes?
Yes.
Fuck people! The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly!
Okay.
So what that tells me is that one of them officers saw something they didn't like. They saw something that was a threat. All of a sudden, one officer did the shooting, so he saw something. There was something
I
that
heard.
I don't know if we'll ever really see because of all the people that were on them, but there was something there.
I heard in that video somebody say he's got a gun. And then there was a long period between them saying he's got a gun until the gunshots. So
Yeah.
he absolutely, again, he was reaching for the weapon. He was actively resisting. They gave him plenty of time to stop resisting, especially with the fact that it was already identified that he had a weapon. He was aggressive. He was the aggressor. They shot him. It sucks. I wish his parents taught him better. I wish he went to work at his actual job. I wish this didn't happen to him. He's 37 years old. He's a year younger than I. But between the time you hear he's got a gun and the time in which he is shot was ample time for him to stop, put your hands behind your back, and go on with your life and maybe do a little jail time. Who knows? He chose to continue to actively resist. That is what I saw from that video.
Yeah. Well, one thing I was going to comment on, and I didn't see it in that series of frames, supposedly, and I don't want to say this is worst case scenario, but because I still think it would be legal. It's still tragic, but legal, that supposedly one of the agents disarmed him just seconds before the shots rang out. And one of the officers supposedly said, gun, gun, gun. Now, I didn't hear that in the video that, series, that montage that Jimmy just played there.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, the point was made earlier in our conversation, these things evolve so rapidly, and you're in the middle of that thing. James and I have both been in situations where we have been trying to arrest people who are violently resisting. And it takes 3, 4, 5 people sometimes to get enough limbs, where you're trying to subdue the person. All he had to do, Candace, is exactly what you said. Stop resisting.
That's it.
James and I have talked about this over and over. I don't care if we're talking about Michael Brown. I don't care if we're talking about George Floyd. I don't give a damn who we're talking about. Stop resisting the police when they tell you to stop, and you'll be fine. It's like the Chris Rock video, which I'm not trying to be funny here, but literally, if you just follow those few simple rules, you probably won't get your ass shot by the police.
It's the simplest thing.
It is pretty simple. And you know what I can say I'm tired of hearing it. I mean, people can say whatever they want, but stupid you sound when you've never, not only you've never been a cop, all these fucking blue hair liberals, They've never been a cop. They've never been in a fist fight. I don't really care what you think. You don't understand that, police use of force is ugly. It's not like on TV. It is fucking ugly. And you want these cops. You need these cops, right? It's ugly what they have to do sometimes. It's just like everybody loves sausage, but nobody wants to watch the way the sausage is being made. Well, you know what you're seeing on the video right now?
That's a great, yeah.
You're watching the sausage being made. Let me tell you what, nasty,
you're in the factory,
and filthy, and it's not fun. Tommy, I'm sure you've been in shootings, and I know you've been in Croker incident. I've been in 2 shootings. I've been stabbed. I can comment on these things. So pretty much, I don't give a fuck what you bunch of fucking blue hairs think. You've never been in a fist fight, much less a fucking gunfight. So shut the fuck up, go back to Starbucks and play your video games.
And it's ultimately too a common sense thing, right? And again, super common sense. I don't go to MAGA rallies, okay? I don't do it. You want to know why? Because there could be a crazy fucking person with a gun there. There could be a crazy fucking person that starts going nuts on the crowd, and I have children, so I don't put myself in that situation, okay? I kind of think it's a little lame, and I sit my ass home, and maybe I catch it on TV. I don't put myself in situations that can put me in danger because I have a family that depends on me. And I really, really, really wish that anybody, whoever is listening, understands that point, that if you have somebody close to you that depends on you, there is no need for you to go to anywhere that threatens your safety.
That's right.
I
don't
like that simple.
Candace, that's a really good point, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. And this is actually this comment. This is my uncle. He's so this is what we would do in Southwest Louisiana. You knock the fucking teeth out. It's real hard to fuck. That's just what this is. This is a pretty good solution, Uncle David. Anyway, so Candace, you're right. I don't like extremists. I don't like right-wing extremists. I don't like I don't like just extreme, because like the people, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for the people that are getting locked up at the I'm pro-life.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for the people getting locked up at anti-abortion rallies. I don't really like extremism, no matter what it is. You know what? The law is the law, whatever the law is at the time, and stay the fuck home and raise your kids and go play baseball. Go do something. Leave all this shit alone.
You can live those values in your life.
Yeah.
That's it. Just live the way that you want to. If you're pro-life, have a bunch of babies. You know what I mean? Like, if you're pro, I hate ICE, whatever. Okay, fine. Then, I mean, I don't even know how you emulate that in your life, but it makes me so sad, truly. As somebody that is younger, there are people here that have their entire lives ahead of them, truly. And they are being manipulated to where they think they have nothing to lose. That's incredibly sad. These people have everything to lose, and they're risking it all. Who is in their lives that are not saying these things to them?
Well,
I don't understand.
I think a lot of these people, if you look at, for example, Renee Good's father-in-law made a public comment about how she shouldn't have been there and that she was in the wrong. And if you read today, Pretty's family made a comment about that. They didn't say anything really vitriolic. They basically were like, he was a great guy. It's a shame that this happened, blah, blah. But they really weren't that hardcore. And that leads me to believe they knew these people were loose cannons. And they had already tried and tried and tried. And, I mean, there's only so much you can do with people that are just that are that stupid to insert themselves in that kind of situation. I tell you the stupidity of this, huh?
No, go ahead. Finish off.
I was just going to finish off by saying, Candace just made a statement a minute ago about how, that you avoid things that could potentially put you or your children in danger. I actually made a comment on Facebook right after Renee Good was shot. And one of the comment that I made was basically that I couldn't believe that she was so duped into doing what she did, that she's trying to protect children that don't even exist when she should be at home with her children. And this family member of mine called me a sexist for saying that. And I'm like,
they don't know what these words mean.
I'm like, where are you even coming from with that? I didn't say stay home barefoot and pregnant. I said your children are your responsibility, and you should be responsible to your children, not some
And she
fucking
was
bullshit.
a single parent. And she was a single parent. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
again is wild to me. You have somebody who is depending on you.
That's exactly my point. Exactly.
Like that person, that child is
man or
depending on you, girlfriend. That's it. It's all they have.
But I'm
Yeah.
sexist.
Candace,
Right. I just
go make Bill. Tom said, "Go make Bill a sandwich right now."
listen, I'll make a bomb ass sandwich, okay? We call them sandwiches, okay? Sandwich. But
Yeah.
it makes me so infuriated because you know what? I remember being a dumbass. You know, we all remember being in our 20s and being a dumbass. Okay. But I don't think I ever put myself in that type of jeopardy. And it's like these people that should have their lives figured out. And I just want to shake them and be like, why don't people in your circle love you enough to give you what you need versus trying to get that in a land of strangers, in a place where you're trying to defend a criminal that will never know who you are and will never give a fuck about you. I just, what a really sad rock bottom that type of life must be. And it's so, there's so many of them walking around like that we don't even know. And I don't know how to reach them and just be like, hey, this is not the life for you. You are worth so much more.
Yep. And what's sad is they think that what they're doing is a valuable thing. That's what's so sad about this. You know,
that leads into to my statement. And you know, Tom, you know my wife, and she's definitely not a liberal, but she had a good point today. Said, and look, this is also a generational thing. Ken, if your generation, and I'm not a generation of bashing, I'm not saying it's a
no, they're fucked up. They're fucked up.
Your generation, they really are very influent. They're easily influenced. They're looking for an identity and they're looking for a cause.
It's because of social media.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's something
they live and die by social media.
Like she said, she's like my wife said, hey, this guy, he may not have been a bad guy. I don't think he was a bad guy.
No.
He was a guy looking for a cause, and the governor and the mayor get up there and they said, hey, we need you.
Mhm.
We need you. You go, like you said, Tom. Tim Walsh said, you resist. You go get that camera out. And he did what the governor said. And what the governor didn't say is, hey, you're injecting yourself in a very volatile, dangerous situation with highly trained. And we'll talk about him in a little bit about how, you know, their new narrative is untrained, which is false. But that's where the issue is that we have to understand we have a lot of people looking for a cause and looking for an identity. And words do matter. I know we have freedom of speech, but it's irresponsible if you're and I'm not going to call them leaders because that's the least thing that they are, but they are in leadership positions. And when you're in a leadership position, your words matter. Jacob Fry, Tim Walsh, you two piece of shit butt fucks. So y'all have got to stop. Y'all are getting people killed because of your agenda. So I want to play this video and I want to get y'all's take on it. And I'll just be up front. I'm not totally I'm not against this guy, the head of the Border Patrol, but I got some issue with this. So I want to play it and then we'll talk about it.
5 a.m. Central Standard Time, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien, Jose Huerta Chuma. You can see this illegal alien on the screen to my left and right. That is Jose Huerta Chuma, whose criminal history includes domestic assault to intentionally inflict bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. Then we'll go back to it. So let me ask you, when you first hear that, what do you picture in your head when you hear him say the guy approached with a 9mm? What's the first thing that comes? What do you think happens?
Guns out.
Yeah.
That's not accurate. And I have a problem with this. And I think that I don't think he's lying. He's not lying, but that's not accurate. I think that that's when you say those things, because in Kristi Noem, and I love Kristi Noem, I mean, not as much as Megyn Kelly, but I don't think that he should have said this. It's not accurate. And it made it look like, he made it sound like the guy approached them, gun out, pointing it at them, and that did not happen. So I think it was bad enough. I think that, why would you say something like that and mislead people? Because now you're going to lose credibility. And that's where my issue with that is. Y'all want to comment, or y'all want to finish watching and then we'll comment?
I'm with you on that.
I am, but I'm not. I am, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's just been dog eat dog, right? Like these fuckers in Minneapolis, they do all this bullshit with the press, and they say they completely fabricate to the other end of the spectrum, you know? And I get where and I love this guy. And you want to know why I love him? Because he had a legit fucking bounty on his head. Like, I don't know, in the summertime, somebody took out and they hired somebody to kill him. And he's like, I'm fucking here. You know, he's like, no fucks given, you know, but I don't think that he was intentionally misleading, but I think this is where it comes down to, right? Where, oh, well, the suspect approached and he didn't have a 9mm out, but he had it in his waistband. And then there was, you know what I mean? There's too much. I think he's like, suspect has a weapon. We fucking took him down.
You're saying he was being matter of fact.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was intentional, but I guess my counter to that is, if we're going to hold Walls and Fry, which nobody's holding them accountable but us, but who the fuck? If we're going to hold them accountable, we have to hold this guy accountable. You can't mislead. And I think whether it was intentional or not, I think what he's saying is misleading. Let's finish watching, and then we'll go back.
The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
So here's my issue with this. What he is saying, and I'm not even being devil's advocate. I'm just,
that was flat out stupid to say that.
What I think, what the problem I have with this is, in his eyes, investigations, there is no investigation. It's over. There's no looking into it. And this is, look, and then you got to understand this too. This was less than 24 hours after the shooting. So how can you get up there and pretty much he says, hey, they shot him. They're right. We're moving on with our lives. And that is not how it works. You've got to.
Actually, James, I hate to say this.
Tom, that's not okay.
It's not. No, I'm agreeing with you. Here's one thing that I really got pissed off watching that same clip is that when they asked him if the agents were still working, he said, not in Minneapolis. They're working in other cities now out of protection of their, for their safety. How in the hell can these guys be working, the ones that were directly involved in the shooting?
Right.
They need to be on administrative leave while they look into it.
And I think that it's irresponsible. First off, I think it's kind of subjective, I guess, opinions. If the guy was resisting, but it wasn't that violent. I mean, he was resisting, but it wasn't, I don't know. It's just, I think he sensationalized it a little bit.
Well, he shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't have said that he's there to massacre law enforcement, because if he was going to do that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't know that.
Right.
Well, if that was what his intent was, why didn't he just open up on them when they were operating on the street?
I don't think
he's a little metrosexual man who probably doesn't even know how to fire a firearm. Like he didn't even have it. Like
but my point is, I agree with James that
right.
he should
have the picture that he painted. It's my point. You painted a picture of a mass killer, and I don't think it's accurate. And he did, for it to be a justified homicide, for it to be. It didn't need to be that. You didn't have to paint this guy as a mass killer. He was stupid. He showed up somewhere he didn't belong, and he had a gun, and he was a threat. He got killed in the store. You didn't have to paint him as a mass killer.
I think
Right.
everybody's just pissed off and they're so sick.
I
I
agree with
honestly, I think that everybody's just like, we're so fucking sick of dealing with this
Yeah.
again. We got to deal with another psycho trying to do shit. Instead, we're just trying to arrest somebody.
I
But
agree
my
with
question is, I have a concealed carry. I don't carry as often as I should. I'm an idiot. I've never carried 2 magazines on me ever. So my speculation, that gun wasn't for him. He was delivering that gun to somebody else who was probably going to take care of business.
I never
Because
thought of
that was not a gun wielding man. Okay. Especially, it doesn't make sense. However, he was resisting arrest and that's it. I think at
Yeah.
the end of the day, he should have just harped on that. He was resisting arrest. He had a firearm on his person. It was a dangerous situation. Unfortunately, our officers are trained to act in that situation. It ends like this.
Yes.
I don't think he had to paint a picture of Valentine's Day massacre, nothing ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's pissed off. I'm pissed off. Every fucking day we see this. It's completely avoidable. It's completely unnecessary. And people keep dying.
Well, it goes back to what we said at the beginning. It's not even about um, right or wrong anymore, or if the guy was justified in shooting. If we want to stop the killing, we gotta go back to the beginning. You have no business being there.
Yep.
But it's
Absolutely.
worse than that, James. It's worse than that. Look at these 2 people, right? Let's go to Renee Good. Okay. I hate to do this, but this is the problem that we have and it needs to be identified. Renee Good had a tumultuous relationship lifestyle. She was married 3 times. She then decided to be a lesbian. She's got 3 children out there. God only knows. She's living a lifestyle that is all over the place. This
She's just
guy,
exploring.
single guy.
She's just trying to find
Not
herself.
You've got another single guy, 37, not married, no kids, has a job. What's going on there? You are dealing with a lot of people that are lost and they're choosing just
They're trying to find their
fucked
identity.
up ways of life. And it has started in their, as soon as they've gone to college. Late in high school, early college years, they are formed and they lose their way. And that's it. That's why we're dealing with this. It's not ICE. It's not, it's not illegal immigrants, to be quite
indoctrination.
honest. Yes, it has to do with how these people just, something happens to them when they're early developmental years and they all have the same lifestyle. You are not seeing somebody that is married with children, a person of faith, that's going out and doing this stuff. It is very few and far between, if at all. So we
Right.
have to start identifying the social problem. And we have to, as a collective thing, the socialists love that part. We have to start taking care of these people and identifying that they are living in a very weird way and it is affecting who they are and it is affecting their mental abilities.
Yep.
So how old was Renee Good? Y'all remember? What,
30 something,
A
late
millennial.
30s.
Okay, what's the difference between me and these 2 people?
The things you just pointed
You
out.
have a stable
Thank you.
life. You have a stable life. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't come
You're
from
not
money. My
looking for a
parents were
cause, you're
broke
not
as
looking for
shit.
identity. Yeah, it's not.
It's not about that stuff. It's about, I came from a 2-parent household. My parents loved each other. Whether we lost our house every 5 minutes, whether we had church groups lining our porch up with food, my parents loved each other. They showed me that. I learned to grow from that and get into a successful marriage, have children, more children than I can afford, and be just a happy, productive wife and mother. And I have a little bit of work on the side. These people, they think they don't need any of that. They were taught to hate that. They were taught that relationships are broken, love is broken, all of these things are broken. And then
Right.
we go and we try to dissect these instances and we go, well, what happened? It's ISIS fault. It's illegal immigrants' fault. These people are being raised to look at these things as all broken. They are raised to think they have nothing to lose.
Yep.
It's a problem. And I want to know how we're
think-
going to fucking solve it.
I don't know that. I think what you said that the whole thing you just said was beautifully put. You hit the nail on the head.
It's sad. I hate that we have this realization, right? Like we sit back and we go, yeah, there's a bunch of people that were raised in my generation that are too far gone. And this is the end up that we see. It's
Yeah.
sad. It's sad to make that realization, but every single one of these people that we see, they are always from this type of background unhealed trauma, broken home, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. And you know, Candace, I'm sorry to interrupt there, Jim. I was just going to say something real quick. You just said something a minute ago, Candace, that was profound to me about this incident that we're talking about right now. I agree. I have been a cop for, 33 years, and I never carried any extra magazines with me, even though that would have been prudent for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Why in God's name would you need 3 magazines when you're running around in a situation like that? I don't necessarily agree that he was going to provide that gun to somebody else, but again, it comes back to that martyr crusader thing you were just making a point of. He was looking to get into the shit, and you would not need that many rounds. If you were going to protect yourself, I mean, most people, even people that study force, know that most firearm incidents are over within seconds and that there's a small number of shots fired. Most gun incidents are not protracted, change your magazine shootouts.
Right.
And that, when you just said that about, I knew he had the multiple magazines, but it didn't click with me until you put it that way. That is very disturbing that he was there armed to the teeth like that.
And that's what makes me think. Were all those magazines for him? I don't know.
I mean, probably. I think probably, but again, there's no reason to have that much ammo on you.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a universal type gun. That gun's not something, Glocks are different. Glocks, their magazines interchange. So I feel like
Is that what he had?
No, he had a SIG. It's not interchangeable like Glock magazines. Glock magazines are very, they're pretty universal, no matter what model Glock that you have. I don't think other guns, I've never owned anything more than pretty much every gun I have is a Glock. But
yeah, that's what we have too.
So I do feel like, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate what his intent was. I'm not going to speculate that he was there with with bad intention. And we had a comment actually from my brother-in-law that said that if he was there to kill cops, he would have done like the one in Baton Rouge and just open fire. I don't think that was his intent. But I also think that he went there and he had packed 3 magazines for a reason. He projected a combative situation. He was prepared for. I don't think he was there to just do unmerciful, unprovoked killing.
No.
Or he would have done that, but he was there for a reason. He was prepared for war, and he was prepared for war. And I'm gonna give my closing. So he was prepared for war because Tim Walz declared war against the federal government, and Jacob Fry declared war against the federal government. So the issue here is, you have no business interjecting in police matters. And when you do, bad things are going to happen. I don't know Renee Good or Alex Preddy to say that they were bad people. But what I do know enough about the decisions that they made to say they made a very bad decision that day, and it cost them their life for what? For what? So my message to everybody is stay out of police business. There's this comparison. I'm going to cover it tomorrow on my show, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. The Kyle Rittenhouse comparison. Kyle Rittenhouse had absolutely no business interjecting himself in the situation that he did. Now, can we debate the end? Was he justified when he pulled the trigger? And I'm going to debate that tomorrow. But let's reverse back to the beginning, Tom, that you and I always talk about. The beginning of the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, to give you a preview, was he had no fucking business there. So let's stop interjecting ourselves into police matters, and this kind of stuff will stop. Stop letting people like Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, and the rest of the liberal mafia put steering wheels in your back, because all they're doing is getting you killed. So all of a sudden, they don't give a fuck about you. So all of a sudden, the last 2 people the people that are being the 2 mortars are white people. So now white lives matter. White lives matter. They've never mattered. They don't matter now.
Right.
You're the latest pawn. Jacob Fry and Renee Good are the latest pawn of the liberals. They don't give a fuck about you or anybody else. Stop letting them put a fucking steering wheel in their back. That's all I got. Who's next?
I couldn't. Candace, you go ahead. I'm going to think about it for a second.
stay home, save lives. It's like, I don't get it. It was their mantra for a long time. And
They found a picture of him. They found a picture of him from his Facebook back in 2021 that had a little deal that said,
yeah,
stay home,
stay home,
lives."
save lives. And,
Should have
and
listened.
we're going to do some choreography. You got this and you got this. Learn it. Okay. Because that's it. I think what bothers me here so much is this is so avoidable. I understand. Okay. You want to go and march and whatever, but there's got to be a part of you that says, oh, there are people that love me. There are people that depend on me. I should not put myself in a dangerous situation, knowing that it keeps turning into dangerous situations, especially there. And so stay the fuck home. Exactly what you said, James. Stay out of police business. Stay the fuck home. If you have a problem with what's going on, write to your lawmakers, vote in the elections, and that's how you make a difference. But
right. That's the
destroying property, getting yourself killed, you're not making a difference to anybody, and you're costing your parents a lot more money than what they fucking have because they got to bury your ass. So stay home. It's that simple. Stay home, and you'll be able to make a difference in other ways if this, affects you so much.
That's right.
Agreed.
Tom?
Feel free to peaceably assemble. Feel free to voice your opinion. Like Candace said, reach out to your elected officials. But for God's sakes, stop involving yourselves in situations and law enforcement activities that you make absolutely no difference in whatsoever. Renee Good and whatever this guy's name is now, Pretty, are going to be forgotten. When I say unsung heroes, they're not heroes at all. They're going to be forgotten because they did not make a difference. There's nothing they could do to make a difference, and they just threw their lives away for nothing.
I agree. And I'm gonna make one more comment, something that sparked while Candace was talking. It's like people are looking for a cause. Well, there's plenty of causes out there. Right now, we have a major winter storm. You know how many people need a place to stay or some shelter? Why don't you make that your cause? Why don't you? It's kind of like when I hear all these mission trips to these churches and stuff going to all these other countries. We have a lot of missions in this country right now. We have a lot of people that need food. We have a lot of people that need shelter. Look at what you're dying for. You realize that all this started because of, and all this is being just blown up because Tim Walz should be going to prison. Jacob Fry should be going to prison over fraud. They're using you. There's a lot of causes out there, and I'm talking to the next Renee Good. I'm talking to the next Alex Pretty. Go find another cause. Go find a homeless person and take them in. Find them, get them shelter in this winter storm. And quit being used by the filthy animal liberals who are just trying to use this as a diversion of their criminal activity. So, y'all have anything else? This was really good. We had a really good crowd tonight. This is give us some final words, Tommy. One more little final words.
Make a difference.
Poor Tom.
I know. I'm trying. I have all these different thoughts in my head, and I just sit there and I think, again, I just come back to the same thing. Make a difference in constructive ways. Stay out of harm's way, and be constructive. Just like James just said, do something for the good of people. If you're looking for a cause, if you're looking for an identity, then be the cause of good. Don't be the cause of doing something for someone else that it doesn't. You're protecting. I saw a picture of an 11-year-old child, and I had a similar situation in the city I worked in right before I retired of also an 11-year-old young girl who was pregnant from an illegal alien who raped her. I'm so sick of this defending people who are nothing. And I'm not. This has nothing to do with being an immigrant. This has to do with protecting people that are pieces of shit criminals. Get your head on right.
Good. Damn, Tommy, that was strong. Candace,
Thanks.
Give us one more Candace thought.
During the winter storm, there are a bunch of shelters that have been asking for people to come in and take dogs just to have them for the time during the winter storm. I fucking hate people. Go get a dog. Okay, how cool is that? And what a difference you can make. Go pick up a fucking dog. You don't have to do this, and
You're
again,
not making a blow the whistle on a policeman's ear. You're not making a difference.
Right. Your life matters. And these politicians, they don't care whether you live or die. Go
Right.
be somebody's everything. Go get a motherfucking puppy. Okay. That's it. It's so simple to just have your life be worth something. It's not doing it this way.
That's a good point. Well, I
So-
appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It's a really good show. Had a really good audience tonight. I will be here 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. I am covering for those of you who care, I am covering the difference between this situation and Kyle Rittinghouse. So tune in with me tomorrow morning, Central Standard Time, 7 a.m. See you then. Tom, Candace, great show. Appreciate y'all coming. Until then, McGee, Wells, and Candace are out.